Hello and welcome. This is Paragon RG. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Singles Awareness Day to all those single folks out there. It is February 14th, 2022, year of our Lord. Let's get into this. I want to do some game analysis. The Viper has been kind of AFK for a while now. I've been checking how often he's been playing, and all of a sudden I see a whole bunch of games played. So we're going to jump into one of those in just a second. What I want to do in this session is sort of together as we're watching this game, think about how can you try to beat somebody early? What is involved in doing that? So things like, can you keep them off of gold, right? Or is it possible to just catch them by surprise in some meaningful way? Maybe kill a bunch of villagers and just force them to tap out. So what kinds of things can you do to beat somebody early? So we're going to jump into this game here in just a second. It is cold as frack outside. I will point that out as well. Minus 12. Feels like minus 17 Celsius, of course. Get this set up real nice like. And here we go. So the Viper is in the red on the south side of this map. I'm going to stay in his view here, his fog of war at least. It is possible, by the way, to watch a player's view, but unfortunately it doesn't show what they currently have selected or things like that. So it's actually kind of hard to tell what they're doing. You can just tell what screen they're looking at. Okay, so in this game, the Viper is against Dick the Birthday Boy. Viper playing as the Delhi Sultanate down here in the south, and the map is Dry Arabia. He is against the French. So French are a very good Arabia civilization. So interesting to think about how the Delhi might tackle this problem. They do have a good Castle Age spike, but again, let's try to think about how one might play the game and try to win the game early. So it looks like right off the top, he put out 2 scouts, or rather, put out a second scout. So let's just double check that. Military count is indeed 2 right now. Also note, he's holding off on the mosque. So for one reason or another, he's decided that... So the 2 approaches we usually see are someone places a mosque right away, or they like wait a couple of minutes, and basically they place a mosque just before or as they're going up to the feudal age. And what that allows them to do is really just make sure you have a mosque so that when you get to feudal age, you're able to research sanctity. Now, Viper being very active here, remember, sanctity is being able to take these sacred sites in feudal age and also generating... Ooh, look at all these sheep. Take them, take them. Also generating double the gold. So you get 200 gold per minute once you have sanctity with a sacred site. Of course, you need scholars to do it. All of that kind of thing is investment. Now, something else we're seeing here. He is going straight to the berries. Straight on gold, pretty much, with 2 villagers, and straight on berries now with 8. We do see quite a few players sticking with sheep for a little bit, maybe hoping to get a faster feudal age. But it seems like maybe... I'm not too sure why one would stick with sheep. I think it's a very short-term benefit. You basically trade off a little bit of time to walk to those berries initially. And then after that, the berries should actually be gathered faster. And you'll see how quickly it goes up here. It's really quite fast. Scouts continuing to move around the map. So, by the way, folks, it's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He has almost the entire map scouted. The one thing he doesn't have scouted is his opponent. Now, he did see gold. Now, I didn't notice how many were on gold here, but this would be a really important thing to check. I was probably busy blabbing at the time, but if you see 5 villagers on gold here, you can be pretty darn sure there are knights coming out right away when the French player hits the feudal age. If you only see a couple, well, maybe they're going for scouts, you know, something a little bit slower. Maybe they're, there could be a bunch of different things they could go for. I think it'd be pretty rare to see French with few villagers on gold, but nevertheless, that is something he could see. And so, yeah, this is crazy. He's seen almost the entire map, and he's now converging on his opponent to figure out what he is up to. And you pretty much know your opponent as the French is going for the School of Cavalry. So, in a way, there's not a lot to scout. until right around when they get to the feudal age, at which point, at which point you want to figure out what they're doing. So he sees the school of cavalry here. Look around a little more. Really not much to see. I think he's probably thinking this is extremely standard for the French player, and he is probably expecting knights, and we'll see what's on gold. 4 villagers on gold probably means knights. Himself, he still has 2 on here. So it looks like this won't be serious gold investment when he gets to the second age, which makes sense. It's actually pretty hard to spend gold as the Delhi until the castle age, just because all of your upgrades are free. And most upgrades are, most upgrades cost gold, and they don't get men-at-arms or knights or something like that. So, Dome of the Faith is up, adding a scholar immediately here. I'm assuming he'll be directed into the mosque, and is adding a blacksmith. So this is what I would call aggressive greed, right? So rather than, like, this is militaristic greed. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Rather than going for a fast second town center or something, you're basically trying to keep upgrades going as much as you can. Efficient military production is almost finished, and we'll see what the blacksmith clicks up with in just a minute. Now, this scout's position is really important. I was about to point out that this scout doesn't really see what comes out of this area, but he had another scout down here, and so he sees a knight and a scout coming out. Already has a barracks going up. Now, I didn't see the timing on this. I am assuming it was around... It was probably before he actually saw those. That being said, he did have 2 villagers on it. Pops a scholar into here. All of a sudden, that knight can do almost nothing here, right? So he'll just be a little more active with this spearman. He's sending it over to guard his berries here, and continues to keep a close eye on what pops out of the school of cavalry. And look at this. Pause, 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 pause. This is so important. Remember, your opponent isn't stuck to just knights all game. And the most common thing I think that French players are doing right now is knights into archers. So he's scouted already that there's an archery range going down. And he's also in a position, again, to keep spotting knights popping out. So if he stops seeing knights, well, he's going to stop making spearmen. So he has the spearmen upgrade queued up, but I think he only has 2 spearmen total. Maybe he has more. He must have, he says he has 6. Oh, no, that's scholars. Scholar, 2 spearmen, 2 scouts. That is 6 military units. Remember, scholars can heal, so that I think that's why they're considered military units. Okay, so only 2 spears, nothing else queued up right now. So minimal investment here. Is going for super high efficiency. Let us continue the game. Just another house going up. Blacksmith is finally clicked up. It looks like this was idle for a little while, which is not ideal for melee damage. Scout did make it in here, but I don't think it got any kills. So you may add, yeah, he's going to add another spearman or 2 to probably hang around here, but that's probably it. He does not want to lose extra spearmen to archers. Archer pops out, sees a second archery range going down. So important. So he's expecting quite a few archers at this point, which really means there's no reason to add another barracks or to pump out too many spearmen. Now adding a stable. So this is looking like it's going to be a horseman switch, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a scholar enter this building, and we'll have to see how he chooses to spend his wood as well. He has quite a bit of... Oh yeah, here we go. That makes sense. Basically the horseman costing 20 wood. Okay, knight does jump on him. Doesn't quite kill a villager. And actually, I was about to... Okay, so he just after that, got the textiles technology. So his villagers have 25 extra hit points. So it's so simple, right? Knights are harassing you. You just want to minimize villager kills. You sacrifice making a villager and, yes, some extra resources to get a 25 extra hit points, and it means they can't 2-hit you. So he's going to try to chase down these archers a little bit. Actually kills that knight must have had really low hit points. Horseman chasing him away here. But look how simple this army is. 2 horsemen and a bunch of spearmen. The only thing he's done, well, he's done a lot right here, but the key thing here is just the timing. He pushed out exactly when he needed to. Spearmen will slowly be taken down by archers, but the more the archers are spread out, the more they're going to get ganked by horsemen, and we'll see if any more... Yeah, another horseman coming out now. Actually already headed home, so he's pulling back. Super, super interesting here. So we need to figure out why he's pulling back. Resources aren't looking like he's about to click up to Castle Age or anything like that. It's possible that he was just worried he would lose more spearmen unnecessarily. It's possible he felt he just did the job. The fact that his opponent felt he's already like maybe stuck back in his own base or something like that. So different possibilities that could be going through Viper's mind at this point. Has sent a scholar out. So it is also possible he just wants to take this, but I think he needs to push past this to really feel secure in this. So we'll see what the horsemen actually get up to here. Horseman, scholar moving. It's a little bit of a dangerous, like, western motion from this guy. Very easily picked off by archers, so he really is just hanging out here. He's going to take the sacred site. Something to keep in mind as well. Sacred sites are useful even if you take them and they're immediately taken back. Like, it takes time for them to take them back, and so you actually make back more gold than the scholar costs in doing so. So he's okay. He's going to pull back here. He's taking another sacred site. Gold is going to spike. Remember, it's really, really hard to do anything about that. Pushing out now with 7 horsemen. He's keeping it so simple here. So simple. Spearman, horseman. Let's take a look at his base. So he obviously has Sanctity. He's getting Piety, which will make his scholars a bit tankier. He has a second Blacksmith now. A little bit bogged down fighting some Spearmen. Losing some extra horsemen here. Will pull back again, but really, again, mission success. He has the Sacred Sites. So in terms of a plan, I wasn't too sure what the plan was going to be, right? Would it be take the Sacred Sites and go from there? Because usually that means some sort of push into the Castle Age. Oh, this is so bad. So he notices his opponent has 1 Spearman here. That is not enough. Actually, a couple more come in, so he may have to head back now. Interesting. Just ignores them. Uses his own Spearman to target his opponent's Spearman. He's just mangling the archers of his opponent. He has all 3 Sacred Sites. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, there it is. His opponent calls it. This game is pretty much over. So let's back up for a sec. Why is this game over? Like, what actually happened here? And I wish I could view the map before this, but unfortunately, they have not made that easy thus far in the game. Okay, so actually, maybe I can just pause. Do that. Okay, cool. So this approach is, it's dead simple, but it's so hard to execute, right? Obviously, that's the problem. That's why we can't all be the Viper. Presumably, this was part of the plan. This was part of, like, I want the Sacred Sites. Delhi usually takes Sacred Sites, so that's not a brilliant plan, but doesn't mean it's a bad plan. So he wants the Sacred Sites. He wants a little bit of map control to do that. You don't need a lot of map control. He didn't get into his opponent's base at any single point in this game. So all he did was park a scout about here, maybe a little farther back. Oh, that we saw it retreating. And he parked a scout over here. This gives him so much vision, right? He saw the archery ranges going down, sees if his opponent is going on stone, which would tell him that he's going for a town center or something like that. He sees the berries. Very easy to just pop up and check the gold, which we saw him do, right? He had 4 villagers on gold in that period. And most importantly, so saw knights coming out and saw 2 archery ranges. So he only made a couple of spearmen off the get-go. Added a stable. slowly added more spearmen, right? But horsemen were really the focus after a certain point when his opponent did that tech switch. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? He got 0 kills, 0 losses, I should say, of his own villagers. He got the textiles upgrade, so playing it so safe. In terms of blacksmith upgrades, only one ever completed, so we can't really look at this piece. Though obviously this is an investment for the future. But he had the melee attack upgrade, which is kind of interesting. It might actually make spears better against, like, quite a bit better. I mean, against other spears. Let's take a quick look at their stats. I guess 9 attack instead of 8 attack. Yeah. So simple. And then just kept active, taking each of the sacred sites. So, now going into this, I knew this was going to be a short game. That's why I had us focusing on how to beat your opponent quickly. Now, there's only so much we can learn from that point of view, right? Keep in mind that his plan wasn't to like jump on his opponent and kill him. His plan was to take the sacred sites, which doesn't necessarily end the game, but because he got a total army cleanup and he had the sacred sites, that's basically it. If you're at a low to medium level, you can still sort of flub the game. But at this level, really what is his opponent going to do against this many units? It's pretty much over. So that's enough blabbering from me. Folks, this has been Paragon RG. If you enjoyed this one, hit that like button, and I will catch you next time.